Paul, you go to Dover, and Alan gets in that wreck.
Yep.
And
Which one?
Now, you had been in a wreck in the spring, hadn't you?
Yeah.
At Dover?
Yeah, we wrecked. We had, clips, or we had 5 clips that year, either a front clip or rear clip, and they are all from Dover between the 2 races.
Well, at Dover in the fall in the race.
Right.
He wrecks.
Right.
And you fall.
Chad Little. But he doesn't say it's not his fault to this day, though. Me and him still give each other a little hard time about that. It's funny.
Yeah. He falls to 300 and some odd points behind.
Right. Yep.
Or was it 200?
I think it's 280 or 260 or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
What
it was a
big amount.
It was a big
amount.
chunk of points.
Absolutely.
How discouraging was that weekend for you guys?
It was discouraging, but I don't know. We had such a good year, and was felt like we were on top of things, And I think we seen Alan down more than we ever have, And I think that was the biggest thing that when we seen him down, we said, "Well, we can't let this happen," and to ourselves. And nobody said that. Nobody said that to each other. Nobody said, "Oh, Alan's down. We got to go work on it." Nobody said it at all. We seen Alan was depressed and discouraged, and we all were, absolutely. But I think everybody there, when he grabbed us up at the race, during the race, after we wrecked, he almost conceded a championship right then. And then we said, "Oh no!" Every one of us. It was I can't remember who he gathered up, but I know Tony was there, myself, and probably Cal was there. But it just, we didn't. No, we're not backing now. We're not giving up now. We're going to go give it everything we've got. We're going to get it back. And that was the attitude we had as a team. And of course he jumped right on board. Of course, so.
That year, Davey had been in the wreck at
Right.
Pocono.
Yep.
And as the season wore on, they were just basically trying to keep him comfortable in the car.
Right.
So that's where he lost ground.
Right.
At the end of that season, Bill and Junior and Tim, there was a spell there where it seemed like they couldn't do anything.
No wrong. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
nothing would happen.
then, at what point did you allow yourself to believe that this might actually happen, that you might actually have a shot?
I don't know. It's like we all just, I think we all kept our head down pretty hard, and just worked. Nobody really focused on the points that much. Nobody said, we got to win the championship. Nobody said that. So nobody come in every week and said, oh, we're 40 pounds away, we're 50 points. Nobody talked about that. We just did what we needed to do. And, yeah, we knew where we were in points, but nobody was really just beating us, talking about the points all day long. And it just didn't happen. We just worked on what we needed to work on, did what we needed to do, and just let the results fall where they needed to fall, and that's kind of what we did, Now in the race at Atlanta, we were all feeling nerves then, And Alan himself, we're all talking about it. So Earnhardt was a previous champion, and we were parked next to him, and we'd parked next to him a lot. So he always talked to Alan quite a bit, and Alan said, "What do I do at this point?" He said, "Do what you done all year long. Don't do nothing different." And that's exactly what we did. We just did everything we could, try to win the race, and just just lead as many laps as we could, and which is what we did all year, really.
Take me through that day, that race, and all the strategy that was going on. I can't imagine how touch and go it must have felt.
It was, you got to keep in mind that we don't have these computers. There's nothing figuring fuel mileage for us but a little calculator. So back up just a little bit. Radial tires were pretty. I think we had radial tires everywhere that year, which is one of the reasons that Alan shined on the radial tires. He was really good understanding them. But with that came failures. We broke transmission parts. Well, we had broke a transmission. We broke a transmission a couple of races already where we broke first gear, second gear, something like that. And anyway, we had all new transmission parts in our transmission, for the Atlanta race. And first pit stop, we broke first gear. So, crap, now what are we going to do? We didn't give up. But so our goal was to, just you needed to shift that transmission as few times or not at all if you could help it, so the broken parts stay where they are, down on the bottom of the transmission and don't get stirred up. So anyway, which killed our pit stops, right? So we had some yellow flag pit stops, which wasn't bad. We know we lost position. We pushed the car out, which you wasn't supposed to push the car out unless you had a problem. So, but anyway, we told NASCAR we broke first gear or whatever, and so you better have better have broke, because you push that car and it's not broke, we're gonna find you, So anyway, whatever. But it was. So come down to our, Alan and Bill. You watch the race, fought, battled every lap, every lap to who could lead at the start finish line, and again, no computers. NASCAR come across the radio, their radio channel, and they would tell you back then. They would tell whoever had led the most laps, okay, you've clinched leading the most laps, and that's what they did to come across there. It's late in the race, right? The 7 cars clinched has led the most laps today. So at that point, we knew that we could finish second, and we needed to finish second at least, to win the championship. We were counting points then. We didn't start counting points till we needed to count points. That's the first thing we said, when the race, or one of the last things we said before the race started is we'll count points when we need to count points. So we started counting points then. We knew where we were. We knew we led the most laps. And we knew we didn't have first gear. We knew we were going to come on pit road. It looked like we were going to come on pit road under green flag, which we did. So we knew we were going to get killed leaving pit road. So we knew we could only gas, which is really the only choice to make then, which is simple. So we come in and gas and go, and all of us are out there pushing the car off and try to get him going, so we could leave pit road in fourth gears. But yeah, that was a strategy, and that was a deal that did it. Leading the most laps, being able to stay out long enough to lead the most laps. We had to work on our fuel mileage there. Danny Glad was doing fuel mileage. We had to be able to, stay out long enough to lead the most laps, which is marginal, right? We had to come in and get just enough gas in the car to finish the race, because if we stayed on pit road too long, we'd lost more spots, and next thing you know, third place is right on our butt or passing us. So there's all those things were going on, and again, no computers, no timing and scoring. You're looking at this stuff manually,
Wow.
So it's pretty fun. Now, we were geared up to do that then. That's what we did, So we, Alan was, he's always wanting information. This is no matter what, he's always wanting information on the radio. During the race, when we had bi-sply, I'd tell him how much stagger we had. Him and I did bi-sply tires together. In bi-sply tires, the stagger moves around. But him and I would do bi-sply tires together, so we both knew exactly what sets. We had sets, and he said, okay, I want this set this is off subject a little bit, but this is how he was on the radio. I want that set 12A, it wasn't 13. I want that set 12A that's got an 1/8 inch more stagger for this next set. So that's how I was on radio. And fuel mileage during the race, you could tell them, what'd you get for fuel mileage? And we'd say, 4.0. I got 3.9. Check it again, or something like that. And that's the way it was. I mean, he was always thinking in the car, and he's right. You go back and, you may have missed it by a little bit, and say, yeah, okay, I can see the 3.9 or 3. It's usually 3.5 or whatever the number is. But so back to the subject here. We come down pit road. We can't stay on pit road long. We got to get just enough gas in the car to finish the race and nothing extra. And so just from a time standpoint, so we come down pit road. Tony, we say, okay, we want to count whatever the number was, 3 seconds of fuel, whatever it was. I don't even remember that. Count 3 seconds of fuel and let him go. And then and that's what we did, right? And so we get everything done. We weigh fuel. This is what we do now. We weigh fuel to see how many pounds we put in there. And it's a little tight.
Yeah.
A little tight. And so he wanted to know the fuel mileage from that run, right? So I can't remember exactly all the details. Basically, we give him. No, I know what it was. He wanted to know. Fuel mileage wasn't. We couldn't tell him fuel mileage. We didn't fill it up. So he wanted to know if everything was good. So okay, Alan. The radio had been pretty quiet as it is. Okay, Alan. Third place is second place. First place is you're in second. First place is a little ways away. Third place is a good ways back. Just save us some fuel. Dead silence, which just never happens. Dead silence. Man, a lap and a half, whatever, 2 laps, something like that. What do you mean? And then at the meantime, wow. Tony's got his wife in the background, and he said, he told me this later on. I had her go to the car and warm the car up and get it closer to me just in case we ran out of fuel. I was leaving. So yeah, it was it was just so then we had to explain to Alan when he said, "What do you mean?" So well, we've got enough gas in the car. We think, and we just want to. We have enough gas in the car, but we want to be safe. We want to be safe. We just don't want to take no chances. Then he said, "How much did you put in? How many pounds you put in there? Whatever it was." So anyway, we made the race. We finished the race. We finished second, which is where we need to be and won the championship. So all that went out the window then. But it's a good story right now, that's for sure, and that's all dead true. We were worried about not having enough fuel in the car, and it was close.
What was it like for you to see him coming off turn 4 to the checkered flag?
No, it's pretty awesome. It's something that you work for. That's it. I mean, we'd work for it all. You work for something like that all your life. Your goal as a young racer back then was to be in Winston Cup. Be a Winston Cup crew member, whether it was a crew member of some type or be affiliated with a Winston Cup car. That was the goal. And to win the championship was the next goal. So that was an amazing feeling for sure.
What do you remember about post race that day?
Pretty surreal. They did take our car and they tore it apart. Did their normal tech, which is they pulled the motor apart and stuff like that. And then the other thing they did is they didn't pull the transmission out, but they didn't make us put it in first gear, and we had to push it while it was in gear to make sure it rolled. And it did. So, yeah. But just the normal stuff, and it was pretty cool. The biggest thing I remember was going to the Ford. Ford had a top 3 in a championship chase, right? With Davey and Bill and ourselves, and I think the other 2 were Chevrolets, but so they had a party plan. Felt like they had pretty good chances to win the championship, so they had a party plan, a little dinner party, whatever, more hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that after the race at a local motel, which is pretty common for things like that. Back then, what happened a little bit because we didn't have planes to get on and stuff like that. We drove back no matter what. So, but we went to the party and they had still shot screen or pictures on the wall and stuff like that on projector and stuff, and there's only a few of us and a lot of Bill and a lot of Davey. That was probably the biggest thing that sticks out in my mind, on post race.